Okay, Mai. Tu. Dah. Ada record. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon to my lecturer, Ms. Daya, and my partner, Masra Azman. Okay, today me and my partner, Masra Azman, we presenting two articles which is comparative analysis of the efficiency of takaful and conventional insurance in Malaysia. And Article 2, does insurance matter for corporate firms in Malaysia? Evidence from pool data, takaful and conventional insurance. I would like to present all about Article 1 today. A comparative analysis of the efficiency of takaful and conventional insurance. So, basically for introduction, conventional insurance is unlike takaful because of the existence of element that prohibited by Islam, which consists of gara, uncertainty, riba with the meanings of usury. While takaful is produced in nation of mutual assistance and use tabaruk concept. Tabaruk concept, which is a donation. So takaful into Malaysian market since 1985 when Syarikat Takaful Malaysia was established after, followed by the enactment of Takaful Act 1984. So in takaful industry has been getting response from the people around the world in Malaysia, and it can be seen where the last 2 decades. So takaful industry have shown their phenomena, development, and get in second rank of takaful industry globally. So basically in Malaysia, takaful has recorded at the end of 2011 with total asset of 70 billion and comprised of 2 common products consist of general takaful and family takaful. So despite of receiving a warm outcome of takaful in Malaysia, it still lagging behind conventional insurance in terms of performance ROE, which is a return of equity, return average expense ratio. So for the problems, basically it has been focusing on cooperative in Malaysia. So that problem can clearly see that it has been stated in this Malaysia that selected data set of each industry. Basically, it's not balanced where the takaful selected data set was 7 operators like the takaful, while conventional, so it will affect the overall performance of takaful operator in Malaysia, and the result will be accurate and most is not enough to perform to their performance of each predictor, like each how they predict how is the future performance going to be. It's, like takaful mentions like the 5th time that this problem can performance of the takaful. So mainly, this we want to compare like the performance and cost efficiency of conventional insurance and takaful in Malaysia, and we want to know the reason behind the faulty or decreasing in efficiency of each operator, which is like the data of cost efficiency of conventional insurance and takaful companies in Malaysia. It will help to regulator and therefore the policy to be more upright, so it can be like competitive of the takaful industry in Malaysia. So basically the problem is very important in Malaysia or invest from foreign country if they seek for insurance to invest and get to themselves. So basically we already know that Malaysia population Islamic is the biggest religion in Malaysia, like Malaysia country. So if the problem of performance and efficient takaful companies do not take seriously and do something, it will be effect of the takaful industry in future in Malaysia. So review of the literature. So the takaful still lagging like behind the conventional insurance, backing up only the 10% of the total market share in insurance industry. So conventional companies' performance always indicate a higher return than the ROE for conventional insurance produced, if I'm not mistaken, 70% growth to compare with takaful, which is only recorded of 4% of ROE. ROE, which is a return of equity. So the return of investment of conventional insurance, basis as company can give 12%, which is a double from takaful to return on investment. So they have a value standing on 6% in 2011. So even both industries showed the same average expenses in same like ratio 26%. So it can be said the higher and the lower is every criteria, and why it becomes like that. So it's because not too broad and not too narrow for understandability. So design and produce. So design and procedure. So which is like the mainly used for this, which is called a DEA. DEA, which is a data development of analysis using the input-oriented approach and use Benzia. Like that means like software to that produce and get the result in terms of the comparison statistic in Takaful. So basically, DEA method was used to compare the efficiency measurements from both industry in Malaysia, and there are few selected input and output variable. So DEA is a linear programming like that allows the efficiency level of each firms to be measured relatively to another with similar characteristic. So basically for measurement in this, so there are use scales like efficiency which consider IRS, CRS, DRS. So these scales show the three conditions that experience in a firm. So it can be increased return scale, DRS, and so on. So from the data and so on, have selected their instability from the data like panel data from both Takaful and commercial insurance. Like the financial data of each company was selected from basically in financial reports. They will use every year by year for their unbalanced data on all the data. So the DEA and DAA. So from that table, so we can say that they focus on analyzing the efficiency measurements of Takaful and conventional insurance in Malaysia and the period range around 2000 from 2009 until 2011 using non-parametric approach. So they have a using parametric approach, data DA like I'm saying before this. So they have a DA analysis like method needs to select multiple variables of output and input. So they using this approach is under order to determine and compare that the result of a measurement for both industries, for Takaful and conventional, and to help to regulate information. So they can be enhance the competitiveness of the insurance and Takaful industry in Malaysia. So if they can measurement, so they can found that commercial insurance perform better than the Takaful industry in Malaysia 2011. It can be sometimes we can see that understanding the percentage for very aspect that being compared to Takaful and commercial insurance company. So it can be seen that Takaful operator shows that of the result will be decreased, but at the same time for the insurance companies need to be maintained concept of higher percent. For that, because of this, like this indicate that performance of the Takaful operator will be determined by external factors such as consumer trust and economic condition. So because a low level of overall technical efficiency was mainly due to inefficiency and effectiveness of the management of the Takaful, so it will be allocate the input variables to produce the maximum of output of the variable. So because of this, like they will do a comparative analysis in terms of cost efficiency and return performance between Takaful operators and conventional insurance company in Malaysia. So conclusions. So comparative analysis between Takaful operators and conventional insurance companies, and to know which it shows the best performer in terms of cost efficiency is aligned with the result that the writer they found that conventional insurance companies perform better in overall aspect rather than Takaful operator. So for me, it's like both companies need to be more alert to external factor cost and should allocate input more efficiently, and they will produce more output maximization and to increase competitiveness in insurance market industry. So because of that, it's a target regulated in insurance of the companies to provide them information on which part is lacking to improve and formulating appropriate policy to enhance the competitiveness of the industry in Malaysia. So that's all for me for Article 1. So I will pass the mic for Article 2.
So for the Article 2, the title is Does Insurance Matter for Corporate Firms in Malaysia? Evidence. So for the introduction, this article was conducted published in 2008 a large body of academic management methods consists of controlling and risk financing, in which insurance is one of the risk financing methods. In Malaysia, the government entrusted Bank Negara Malaysia with the regulatory and supervisory role over the conventional Islamic insurance, which is known as are two different contracts, which is known as takaful. Is based on the concept of takaful that is developed on three principles. Firstly, mutual responsibility. Second is cooperation with each, and thirdly, protecting one another from any kind of difficulties, disasters, and other misfortune, whereby the financial contribution is based on the concept of tabaru, is derived from the Arabic noun that means donation, gift, and contribution. The objective of this study is to investigate the factors affecting corporate demand for property, takaful, and insurance using data on non-financial firms listed on main board of Bursa Malaysia. Corporate demand for general takaful and insurance products has continuously rising, which is evident by the increasing value in premiums collection of general insurance and takaful. So as you can see, for the problem statement is that to be focused on actually to highlight what are the factors affecting corporate demand for insurance and thus insurance method in corporate firms. It also focus on identifying the factors corporate demand for property insurance. In this journal, it also focus on the relationship of these factors with property insurance and whether they are significantly or insignificantly related with property insurance, whether they are positively or negatively related with property insurance. Among the factors affecting corporate insurance that have been studied are underinvestment, problem and leverage, growth opportunity, managerial ownership, and also expect bankruptcy costs. Furthermore, there are two contracts have the common objective of reducing a financial burden arising from any disaster or accidental loss like fire, flood, or storm. So for the literature review, in this journal, it examined the reinsurance purchases for a sample of United States, which based on property and casualty insurance company, because such data are systemically reported in insurers' statutory returns. The empirical model employed in this journal uses the ratio of reinsurance to total business premium received as the dependent variable. Company characteristics such as size, degree of concentrations in insurance lines, extent of geographic concentrations, and best rating are used as independent variables. The researcher find the ownership structure, size, line of business concentration, geographical location, and default risk show the significant effects. The result from this research shows that it fails to provide the evidence of the insurance purchasing behavior of non-insurance companies. And also, the study shows that the size and regulatory status appear to be important factors in the demand for corporate insurance. So, for the data analysis, as you can see that the first one, there are three models which the study will employ a cross-sectional and time series regression model using the panel data. The generation estimation models are divided into three specific models as follows, which the first one is non-effect models, which the non-effect model assume that the slope and intercept of firms are constant across individuals, firms, and time. And second, fixed effect models, which is the fixed effect model traits omitted the firm's specific variables as constant over period specific variables as invariant across companies. In the fixed effect models, the intercept in the regression model is allowed to differ among individuals firms in recognition of the fact that each firm or cross-sectional unit may have some special characteristic of its own. And the third one is the random effect model, which treats both for firm and period specific practice as random. By following steps, instead of treating the formula for model CDT as fixed, it's also assumed that it is a random variable with a mean value of the formula. So for the conclusion and the implication, this paper investigate the determinant of corporate demand for insurance and takaful in Malaysia by use of public listed companies at Bursa Malaysia. The findings indicate that insurance matters for corporate firms. A major strength of the analysis is the research extent to study on the corporate demand for insurance using a pool data of takaful and conventional in Malaysia. It also finds that corporate finance factors of leverage, expected bankruptcy costs, firm size, and managerial ownership, as well as that consideration, play an important role in determining the insurance and takaful demand in Malaysia. This is interesting results where corporate demand for insurance in Malaysia in conventional insurance studies of other countries like in conclusion, the robust to alternative specific effect model that help us to control for unobservable heterogeneity. However, the implication on important parties like regulators, shareholders, and also the creditor as well as insurance company and takaful operators, where they should take necessary action and attention from the first like both opportunities and regulated industry show significant factors. So for the recommendation, the further study should be conducted by segregating the corporate demand for conventional insurance and demand for takaful in Malaysia for comparative analysis. Takaful should be more aware of the external factors such as the changes of economic conditions and the trust of customers due to the continuous decline of its efficiency scale. Takaful and conventional insurance companies in Malaysia should firstly be more efficient and allocating inputs to produce optimal outputs, and secondly, should improve the quality services to the customers. Other than that, targeting the government role in developing an insurance of the takaful industry, regulators for policy to let in each product policy and to make sure that the collected fund from the policyholder which is input are allocated at the right place in order to produce the best maximization of output investment income. In addition, based on the article 2 shows that between both market and conventional insurance and takaful in such aspect cost efficiency. And lastly, the performance in producing income and performance related to the finance calculation. So that's all from us. Thank you, Ms. Chika.
Thank you so much.